We've got a really tough question from one of our friends here who recently lost her brother-in-law. So her sister was engaged to get married with a young man, and he was murdered. There was an insurance policy in place that would have ultimately allowed his wife to take the money that would allow her to pay for the house that they were building together. But his mother has decided that she was going to step in and take the money. This leaves our friend's sister, the young lady who was to be married to the man that died, and their child to ultimately face homelessness. So there's the possibility that they won't be able to pay for their home because the money that would have gone to her is now going to the young man's mother. So during this time of mourning, there's also, it's being tainted by greed. It's being tainted by money issues, which is quite unfortunate because, as she describes, they like to actually mourn the loss of their friend, but now they're all worried about losing her sister's home, and the old mother is being very stingy with the money, and how she would describe as greedy and not very self-serving and not supporting of the young lady and her child. What do we do? Now, she's got some ideas about how to expose this woman, but essentially she's making some poor moral judgments based on what our friend tells us, but she lawfully owns the money. According to the agreement with the insurance company, whatever the case may be, the mother does get the money. So there's they can't take her to court or anything like that. So they're looking for ways to expose her and exact some form of revenge in order to get back some of the money, all the while feeling very heavy with grief, the loss of their friend. So, it hurts my heart when money comes between love. And I think about, me and my brothers and sisters have had this conversation before. Not that my parents have a lot of money at all. We probably have debt when they die. But how would we handle their estate? And of course my parents are still alive, and then we don't know when they might die, but we always agree on how we would deal with it. And we look at each other and we smile and we're like, yeah, we'll be good, we'll be fine. And hopefully that will be the case. But I come from a unique place where my family, we actually love each other and we're nice to each other. Go figure. And so it upsets me and confuses me, actually, because of the place that I come from. It confuses me as to how people allow material objects to get between what should be the strongest bonds available to human beings, and that is familial relationship. Even if they're not blood related, if they're in-laws, still, these are people who have come into your family, have been invited into your family, your tribe, and not much means more than that, at least to me. So how does she go about it? So the answer that I'm going to give you, the invitation that I'd offer, is not going to be a lot of people aren't going to be very happy with me about this one. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of disagreements, and that's fine. But this is the way I would approach it, and this is the way I would invite you to at least look at it. Let her have the money. Walk away and sever your emotions from sever all of your hard, angry, frustrated feelings from the relationship with her. And allow God or the universe to handle karma, which is really the better way of describing it. Karma, handle the situation with her. Karma is an interesting thing because the word, a lot of people think that karma means if I cut you, somebody's gonna cut me. That's not necessarily the way it is. Karma is more of a personal responsibility for the things that happen in your life. And if this is the way this particular woman goes about the rest of her life, if she's of the particular type of character that makes choices like this, she's going to be a miserable person. And that misery is going to come back. No matter how much money she's receiving, she's always going to be a miserable person because the type of character that she has, who she is, it's her doing. That's what karma really translates into, your doing. And this is just a byproduct of her doing. But know too that because of this type of doing comes from a ugly place, that she's an ugly person and she's going to get back ugly. You can't sow ugly without getting back ugly, because the sower of ugly is ugly. For you to sow a particular thing means you must have it, you must be it. So ugly will continue to come back to her. Very difficult to deal with, especially when your livelihood is at stake. So now you have the situation where the home might be repossessed, and this woman takes the money and she goes. And of course you could say, yes, let karma, let God deal with her in the way that it should be dealt with, and have trust in that. I have firm trust in that. We are our doings. Our life is our doings. We are personally responsible. And if it looks like she's winning, really she's losing. She might even be dying on the inside when she takes that money. You don't know what's going on there, and it's none of your responsibility. Revenge is not worth it. It's not worth revenge, because now you're tying yourself energetically to this person. It's a marriage. When you go for revenge, you're marrying that person because you're emotionally tied in with that individual. And you don't want that, especially if they're an ugly person. Leave them alone. Step away completely. Now, you have your own situation. Do not look at your circumstances as victimhood. That's where you'll fuck it up. If you start looking at your circumstances as, she did this to me and now I'm fucked because of her, now what you've done is you've taken the responsibility, and responsibility is a beautiful thing, because when you're responsible, it also means that you're capable. You've taken responsibility and you've given it to her, and now it's like you're being raped. There's nothing I can do. It's a weak place to put yourself in, and it's a weak story to proceed from. Take responsibility for it. Take responsibility for the fact that you might be giving the house away, and that you'll be okay. Don't get caught up in the same type of idol worship that your friend, the mother is tied up in with regard to the material existence, the material things, the money. The same way that you feel entitled to the house that you guys are in, and the same way that you have sentiment towards some of the things in the house because this is where your brother-in-law lived, and the same way that you're emotionally tied to these material objects, you're proceeding from the same place that she's proceeding from with regard to the money. She feels entitled to the money, she's emotionally attached to the money, and she's making decisions that are hurtful for everyone associated with the money. Now the house, it can quickly become your evil, could quickly become your sin. You've got to detach yourself from material existence, material things. I am not against having nice things, and this is just a quick caveat. I'm not against having nice things. I'm not against material at all. I like nice things. I want nice things. But to be emotionally tied to it, to be personally identified with it, is where we start making these evil choices that hurt other people, hurt ourselves, diminish our personal responsibility for the circumstances in our life, and we lose empowerment. You're gonna have to cultivate empowerment in yourself and in your sister and her family, especially after this grievous loss and the circumstances with the older woman. So that's it. Sever ties with her. Allow karma to do its work. Find a resourceful story of empowerment that allows you to carry on and detach from any sentiment that keeps you shackled to material objects. Easier said than done, but a worthy philosophy to carry on in life that will bring peace to your heart no matter what circumstances you face. Done.